The way to build up your biceps is by training them 2 times a week and until failure. As they are a small muscle group, they do not take long to recover. That is why you can train them more than once in a week. Look at my biceps. I know what I'm talking about. This is my credibility. I have got it, you don't. Then, on top of training our biceps, we need to be eating the right foods to supplement this muscle growth. We need to be eating foods that are naturally high in protein, though using protein powder is also very effective. You want to aim for around 0.7 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. The training is going to initiate the muscle building process in our biceps, and then the protein, the high protein, is going to supplement this growth. It's going to act as the building blocks to this growth. The higher protein will speed up the rate of muscle growth. So you will get big biceps like me. You want to build up your biceps, right? You're not going to get big biceps from training like a pussy. The way you train is very, very important in building up your biceps. You need to be making sure you are training intensely, training hard, training to failure. I say this every single time because it is so important. Your physique is not going to look good if you're not training hard. If you're not going close to failure or at failure, you're not going to build muscle. You're not stimulating your muscle enough. You're not causing the micro tears in your muscle to allow them to then recover, repair, and become bigger. You must be taking all of your sets close or to failure. If you don't, you won't be building muscle. You genuinely won't be building much muscle at all. And research shows that training to failure or training very close to failure builds more muscle. Don't go into the gym thinking it's going to be an easy session. You can just, do a few reps and you'll be done. That's not going to build your biceps up. You need to first train to failure, okay? You need to be training hard. You need to be really grunting and really trying to get that last rep up. Then on top of that, you need to be progressively overloading. Now, to build bigger biceps, we need to first of all train to failure, but then we also need to continually increase the weight every single week, every single month. So for example, say you're curling 10 kg for bicep curls. The next week, try do 12.5 kg if that's a weight you could do in your gym, or 15 kg. And then you just go up and up and up as the weeks go by. And you will get to a point where it slows down a bit. And that's where you just focus on trying to get more reps than you did last week. So say you don't have the strength yet to go up in weight from last week. That just means you have to try get more reps. So say you got 10 reps for 3 sets on your last weight. This week, try get 11 reps for 3 sets with the same weight. That is still progressively overloading. You don't need to be going up in weight every single week, but you do need to be going up in reps. And over time, you need to be going up in weight. So you're going to build up the biceps by training them correctly, by training to failure, training intensely, being a bit uncomfortable with how you train. And then every week, you need to increase the weight, increase the resistance on your muscle. Okay, you can't just do the same weight you were doing in the first month because that shows you're not building muscle. Strength and muscle are clearly correlative. So the more weight you can do, the more weight you can bicep curl, the bigger your biceps are going to get. It's just the truth, because when you're getting stronger, your body needs to build muscle for this newfound strength. So if you're getting stronger, you likely know you're building muscle. Then the rep range, you should just be getting around 5 to 15 reps. Anywhere in between there, go to failure with the bicep curls, you'll be fine. Now, what exercises should you do? It's really simple. To get big biceps, you only need to do 2 exercises. Just to let you know, my full aesthetic body course is in the link in description. Go check it out right now. It goes over all of this in a lot more detail and it's a lot more clear. You need to be doing some sort of curls that come out like this. So I do incline curls where I just lay back on the bench and I go like this. That's it. Really easy. Go to failure on that. But then we want to be hitting the other part of our bicep. So that specific exercise hits one part of our bicep. Then we need to be hitting the other part of our bicep with hammer curls. So our hands are going to be like this instead of this. So we're just going to be coming up like this. Really simple. That is the only 2 exercises you need to build muscle in your biceps. That's the only exercise I've ever used to build up my biceps, and it's worked for me, so it's going to work for you. All you need to do is train intensely, train to failure, progressively overload, and do those 2 exercises, and you'll be fine. You will start building the muscle in your biceps. Obviously, it's going to take a while to build up your biceps. It takes, months for really big, substantial muscle growth to occur. But you can also speed up this growth if you do a lean bulk. So if you really want to get big biceps, you could do a lean bulk instead of main gaining. So you could literally just go in a few 100-calorie surplus, and that is going to allow your body to build more muscle, essentially. And actually, the biceps I have right now are from 2 bulks. I've bulked up twice, and that is why my biceps are quite big, because I bulked, I trained intensely, I progressively overloaded. Now, when it comes to the diet, it's very important, because think about training as the training intensely is what is going to initiate the muscle growth. Without the training, you're not going to build any muscle. But the diet is going to supplement this muscle growth. It's going to allow this muscle growth to happen more effectively, more quickly, and it's just going to allow the muscle growth to be bigger. So you need to be eating the right foods. So you need to be eating 70 to 80% of the time the real whole foods, the foods that are one ingredient, the meat, the fruit, the vegetables, etc. But you want to be having high protein at the same time. If you don't have high protein, you won't build as much muscle. Simple as that. Protein is like the building blocks to building muscle. So training is like the construction workers, for example. The protein is like the bricks they use. So you need to be making sure you get enough protein in to allow the muscle growth to occur. Obviously, the training is the most important bit. Train hard, you will build muscle. But the protein is going to allow that muscle growth to occur faster, essentially, and more effectively. 70 to 80% of the time, you want to be eating the high protein, one ingredient foods, usually meat, eggs, etc. These foods are really going to be good for you in building up your biceps, building up muscle in your whole body. But 30% of the time, you can still enjoy yourself. 20% of the time, still enjoy yourself. Have the sweet treats, the junk foods, etc. Because if you don't, you won't stick to your diet. I found personally that when I restrict myself too much and I don't have as much of these little sweet treats and junk foods here and there, I don't stick to my diet, I don't make as much progress. So it may look as if you're making less progress by eating these foods, but in the long run, you're actually going to make more progress because you're going to stick to the right diet, you're going to feel more motivated, you're going to basically feel better, and you're going to carry on working out, you're going to carry on sticking to the good diet. So make sure, you are allowing yourself to have a bit of leeway. Don't fully restrict yourself, because you won't stick to the diet if you do. So building up your biceps is actually really simple. All you have to do is train them intensely. And you need to remember they can recover very quickly. So if you're training them twice a week, that is the best for them, because they can constantly recover. They can recover basically every day, every 2 days. So you want to be training them at least twice a week. If you only train them once a week, you can still build them up, but twice a week is most optimal. Then you want to make sure you're training intensely, training to failure. Doing the 2 exercises I said, those have been really good at building up my biceps, so they're probably going to be very good for building up yours too. Then we want to make sure we are progressively overloading every single week, going up in weight and going up in reps, and the rep range you should be staying in is around 5 to 15. You can still build muscle at, 30 reps probably, but it's just not sustainable. You could also probably build muscle at 3 reps, but the sweet spot is 5 to 15, just stay in between there. Then you want to be eating the high protein diet that is going to supplement this muscle growth and allow it to take place more effectively and quicker.